Hey, yo. Yes, man. We are back with another one. I told you, another one. Just like DJ Khaled said. What did he say? Another one. Listen, very, very special guest. This brother is very near to my heart. I tell you this, we go way back. We go way back with my brother, since day one. I mean, we literally locked in for show. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we got J Cam in the building. We got Josh in the building. We here. We golden. Round of applause, you know what I'm saying? If I had a red carpet, I'll pull it out right now for him. Because it's on that type of status, that VIP level. My brother Josh, man. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much. How you doing, man?
Can't complain, man.
Can't complain, man.
Sir, can't complain. I appreciate you having me on.
No problem, man. Thank you so much. Just taking the time out of your busy schedule, to step in here on Ced Talk Podcast. You guys, make sure to tune in, like, subscribe, comment to my YouTube channel, Ced Talk Podcast. And like I say, look, this is my day one, man. We go way back, man. Where did we connect at, though?
Man, where we connect at work. That's where the real connection really started, for sure, at work.
Is that the work you work in the airline industry? Young dudes, though. I was about 18. I'm 35 now. He was about 19 or something like that, man. So this was kind of dope, man. Like, since then, like, literally been locked in, just been rocking. Other than that, though, like today, how's your day going, man? Like, how you feeling? Like, who is Josh, man? Like, let the people know who you are, man.
Today, I'm blessed, man. Blessed to wake up this morning. Blessed to wake up every morning. Living life with no regrets, no complaints. I'm blessed. So yeah, me? Who is me? I'm a humble individual, man. I keep to myself. I'm quiet, focused, laid back, chill, reserve. I like to go out with all my brothers. If not, I'm in the house. I'm really a homebody for sure. In the sports, things like that. So if it's not really a birthday or big celebration or event, I really keep to myself for sure.
Now, that's definitely true, though. This dude is definitely a homebody. And you talk about homebody and into sports. If you walk in on this dude and he at home, the TV is going to be muted. No sound. But he's fully in tune. He's sitting up edge of the couch. No sound, muted. So he a real life homebody, man, and truly into sports. And so, like I mentioned before, man, we do go way back. I remember I was 18 years old, got a job in the airline industry. This was my first job in the airline industry as a ramp agent. And I remember walking into this place, but I used to always hear about Josh stuff. Like, oh yeah, watch when Josh come back. I feel like you gonna like really rock with Josh. Like, you resemble Josh, or like you guys are similar in many ways. And I'm just like, man, whatever. Like, stop trying to compare me to this dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know this dude. And where were you at, actually, when I went there?
I was in Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
I was living out there. The airline moved me out there to work. So they put me in a hotel room, and I was out there for about 4 months.
4 months. Sheesh. That was crazy, bro. But yeah, they like, yeah, watch when he come back, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like to like them, they were like trying to compliment like the situation. But to me, it just, I feel like it almost created animosity almost, in a sense of like watch when he come back, you link up, y'all gonna be cool. So like he came, and I find myself sizing him up like, okay, like, yeah, he cool, what I'm saying? Like, okay, just kind of linking on from there. And literally, I think it was a situation where there was another co-worker that worked there. And just keep in mind, man, like, if you're not familiar with like San Francisco, like, we had people from every hood up at the job. Like people literally from every single hood up at the job, man. Like our break room was really like a prison mentality because you had to like figure everyone out. You know, people had different upbringings, and and so just keep that in mind. And so this one guy, which is kind of yapping, he was talking mess, and then my name came up in the situation. And I said, all right, bet I'm gonna be on his head. So one day we actually go into work, and I caught him like in the turnstile, like right before we go into, our job or whatever. And it's just in my mind, I was like, well, I was gonna wait till after work, because anytime you fought somebody or got into it, it's always in the parking lot. And so I was like, man, I was gonna wait until after work, but I might as well get on this bumper right now. And so I'm talking to him, whatever. And then Josh comes through. He comes through the turnstile, and he's like hearing what's going on. And so I'm on dude's head, but like I'm looking at Josh, and he's kind of like he's like squared up a little bit, like he was gonna help. He was gonna help me, and I was just looking like, man, Josh is solid, bro. Like, and I said, bro, you was about to help. He was like, I was just waiting, man. Like I was waiting for you to take off. I was gonna jump in. So I was like, man, that moment just kind of like let me know too, like, bro, is solid. I really rock with him, and then things just grew from there. Like we used to travel randomly. Like we used to show up to the airport and see when the next flight was leaving to wherever. They said, in 30 minutes, what flight is leaving in 30 minutes and where? And we'll hop on the plane and go, man. So like
big facts. And we in the airport. We like, where we going today? Burbank open.
Man.
Go Burbank.
We just hop on a plane and go.
Yeah.
So it was solid, and we grew together. We flew together. We was in each other's homes. He met my family, I met his family, and then we became family. And so we just built that bond. And like this last thing I want to share with you guys, because this was very important to me. If you guys haven't checked out, the past couple episodes, I mentioned a portion of this in those episodes, but this is where I had to resign from this job, and because they found something on my record, and so I had to resign, I had to leave. And keep in mind, like I started when I was young, so it really bothered me, and so I was just out of it. I, threw my stuff, all my work stuff, and then just walked out. And so like I'm flaming, like I'm walking out thinking like, dang, like it's over for me. Like, this is my job. I love my job. And then I hear like footsteps, running behind me. I turn around, and it's Josh. And I'm like, bro, what you doing? He was like, nah, I'm checking on you, man. Like I didn't like just seeing you walk away like that, and things like that. And I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. It is what it is. I'm like, you gotta work. And he's like, he was like, nah, I don't even care about that. Like, it don't even matter to me no more. Like, I just want to make sure my brother is good, man. And like, that touched my heart for real, because like I say, at that time I didn't have like a lot of responsibility. I didn't have children. I wasn't married. I wasn't paying the mortgage or anything like that. But it was the fact that I loved the job. I loved, the connection that we built with everybody there. And so that meant a lot to me. And for him to support me in that just really allowed me to see his true colors, man. So I just wanted to really kind of like give that background story of us. And there's many, many more. Like, stay tuned. You're going to see way more episodes, because we got a lot of stories, a lot of stuff that we done been through, experienced, all kind of stuff, man. But I want to take a quick turn real quick. I know I was just kind of building that foundation. But because of our relationship, our brotherhood, we're going to fast forward, right? Years ahead. Let's fast forward some years ahead. And I recall a time on August 6th, 2023. Okay, August 6th, 2023. I was actually in Nebraska, Omaha. And I was at work. And so I received this phone call. And it was like no other. Like I received this phone call from my other brother. Shout out to Boom, nephew. What's going on, nephew?
Shout out.
I received this phone call, and it was Boom, and he was like, yo, like, did you hear what happened to Josh? And I was like, nah, like, what happened? What do you mean? And he was like, man, Josh got shot, man. Josh got shot. And I was like, wait, what? Like, and so now that was just a random call. And so I'm in my head just kind of shocked and really just kind of thinking about like, wait, what? And he was like, I was like, wait, how do you know? Like, who told you? And so he told me, and then I called a person, and I'm like, yo, like, what's going on? Like, I'm hearing that Josh got shot. And so I just want to paint this picture really quick. When I hear the information, I say, is he okay? The person goes and says, he was shot in the face. He was shot in the face. I said, whoa. Calm down. Like, is he okay? And you hear background noise, all kinds of stuff. And then, boom, phone drop. I'm like, yo. So, like, my thought process, like, hearing those, like, immediately, like, I just felt my heart stop. Like, just, like, whoa, wait, what? And then at that time, I didn't know if he was alive. I didn't know if he was, in critical condition. I didn't know anything about his actual physical state of where he was, and how he was. And so I'm calling everybody else. His sister called, like, yo, you hear what happened to Josh? And I'm like, man, I'm in Nebraska. Like, I'm not even out there. Like, and so I was really beating myself up, man, just kind of like mentally all night, because I'm like, dang it, I'm not even out here. It's crazy. That was my experience. But Josh, I want to ask you something. And I know it's fresh. I know it's, you're still in recovery, stage right now. And if it's too personal, I totally understand. What were your thoughts? Not necessarily what were your thoughts, but like, what actually happened? And then, like, how did you feel in that? Like,
man, crazy. So it was a Sunday, August 6th, regular Sunday morning. Got up, was going to get some breakfast. Breakfast spot we was going to closed. So decided to get back on the freeway, try the opposite way. And while on the freeway, sitting in the passenger seat, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm looking down, I'm looking out the window, and all you first you hear is boom, boom, boom. You're not thinking too much. You're on the highway, everything is moving fast. You think rocks is hitting your car, and then I heard a person say they shooting at us. And by the time that happened, it happened so quickly. I look up to go look in that direction of where they were shooting at, and you just hear gunshots, boom, 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 boom. So I turn to look. When I look, I felt pressure. Didn't realize I was hit at the time. So I felt pressure hit me on the left side of my face. So now at this point in time, the person driving, I'm trying to calm down. Like, hey, we got to get off the freeway. Anything like that happened. Person panic, is screaming, yelling, froze up, don't know what to do. So some told me to stay calm. So I'm like, we got to get off the freeway. You got to drive off this exit. And in the midst of driving off the exit, some just told me to look in the mirror. So I just raised the mirror down, and I look and I turn, and blood just gushing out, coming out. So I turn and I say, hey, I got to get to a hospital. I'm like, I'm hit. I got to get to a hospital. And in that moment, the person's still freaking out. They freaking out. And I was like, get me to a hospital. They're like, I don't know how to get there. I don't know where to go. So in that moment, I'm like, okay, listen, drive me to the police department. It's up the street here. Go this way. Drive me up to the police department. So in the midst of giving the person directions to get to the police department, I pick up my phone. I call 911. And then they pick up, and I'm like, I'm being hit. I'm being shot.
Wait, hold on. So you were shot.
Yes.
Then you saw the wound, you saw the blood and stuff, and then you call the police.
Yeah, I pick up my phone, and I dial 911, and I get on there with them. And I'm talking at this time. And I'm like, I've been hit. I've been shot. They was like, where are you? I'm like, I just came off the freeway. They was like, stay where you at. I was like, no, I'm going to the police department. It's a landmark. You know what I'm saying? So there's no confusion of where I'm at. There's no confusion. There's like, nah, pull over at a Chevron gas station. I was telling them I'm not pulling over. I'm going to the police department. Meet me there. And on the way there, I'm still giving the person directions how to get to the police department. We finally pull up, and they're telling me to stay in the car while I'm still on the phone with them. I'm like, I'm not staying in the car. So I get out the car. I'm walking towards the police department to go walk inside because at this point I need help. I'm losing blood. And I take about like maybe 9-10 steps going towards the police department, and then you can hear the sirens. So I just turn around, I go back to the street, and I sit down on the street. And at this point in time, probably like 8-9 minutes went by since I've been shot. And I sat on the sidewalk, and I just count my fingers and my toes because at this point, I know I'm losing a lot of blood. I haven't lost consciousness. So I just told myself, count your fingers and your toes, just count. And when you get to 20, count backwards. So I'm just playing this through my head while everything going on. Fortunately, police get there, paramedics get there, fire department, put me in the ambulance and get me to the hospital. And from there on, tests, everything going on like that. I'm not sure how bad it is at the moment. But to go back on what you said, like, what was I thinking in that moment, that exact moment? That's crazy you asked that. In that exact moment, when I realized I was hit, it wasn't the fear of how bad it was. It wasn't the fear of, am I gonna die? It was more so, if I die, I know where I'm going. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, that hit me. The first thing I thought of was like, if I die right now, I know where I'm going. Wow. And it wasn't no, maybe not. Nah, it hit that fast. Like, I know where I'm going.
You talking about like spiritually?
Spiritually,
like, okay.
I know where I'm going.
Wow.
Like, I'm gonna lose my soul and end up in hell right now if I die right now. Goodness. That's what I thought about. Just to lose my soul for eternity and burn in hell, just because I know I'm not gonna fake it. I know I'm not living right. I'm not doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. Wow. So in that moment, it wasn't a fear of me dying. It wasn't a fear of how bad it is. It wasn't a fear of the pain. It wasn't a fear of none of that. It was more the fear like, if I die right now, I'm gonna lose my soul forever. And after that, then it's like, you just think about thought about my grandmother, and then in that moment too, it's like, this is a message. It's a message directly for me. The car was hit 11 times with bullets, and I got hit once. Wow. So, dude, it's a blessing I'm here. It's a blessing I'm alive. It's no luck. People's like, man, you lucky. There's no luck involved in this. Even from the doctor, he was at the hospital. Yep. I had the surgeon.
Hold on. So before we go to the hospital, that's another deep message right there. That's a whole nother ball game. But before we go into the hospital, you said something that just touched my heart, bro. Like, you said in that moment, it wasn't the fear of death. It wasn't just, the situation of being hit or, being in the worst situation from the bullet, but it was knowing where you would be spiritually, because you in that moment you realize, like, okay, you haven't been living right. You haven't been, doing the things that's pleasing and acceptable to the Lord. That is so deep, bro. Like, to experience that in that moment, and for God to spare your life, and for you to have that thought in your, that thought in your mind is mind blowing. Because not only does it touch me, like, and not only does it convict me, like, just my heart, this can help others,
Absolutely.
Those who are listening, those who are watching, because this can change literally the thought process of what it means to live right by the Lord. You get what I'm saying? And not take anything for granted, not get, not yield to the temptation, not fall into these things, because we are here. We're currently in the world, but realizing that at life or death situation is powerful, bro.
And that's how you know in that moment, but everything happened. That's God. For that thought process, God. And then just to be real, like realistic with my life, understanding my grandmother raised me in the church. So I was raised on the word. I know what it means. I believe in it. And nobody's perfect. But in this situation, you never prepare. People like, oh, I'm prepared to die. You really not. You're really not prepared until it's really happening and you see. And a lot of people, in that moment, probably start praying to God, like, don't let me die, Lord, don't let me die. It never came across my mind, don't let me die. It's just like, if I die, I'm losing my soul instantly. And there's no coming back from that. There's no coming back. The surgeons, the doctors, nothing. I'm losing my soul and I know where I'm going. Like, I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm doing that too much now.
Yeah.
Not living right, you know what I'm saying? Not doing certain things right. I'm lying to myself. So in this moment of life and death, I'm not going to lie to myself. I know where I'm going. And I'm going to lose it. Like, I'm going to lose my soul and I know where I'm going. So that's the thought process. And if this can help anybody, I'm not going to force nobody to go to church. I'm not trying to force nobody to live a certain way. It's just, I know what's in my heart and I know what my grandmother instilled in me and my siblings and things like that. So regardless of how old I get and how far I get away from it, it still has to convict you. And it convicted me in that moment where fear should have convicted me. Everything else that was going on should have convicted me, but it didn't. It was, I'm going to lose my soul forever.
Wow.
For eternity.
Wow, that's powerful, bro. And then, so now I do want to move on and forward to the hospital scene, okay? So, like, the hospital was really deep as well. So, like I say, August 6th, 2023, he was shot. He was in the hospital, right? August 7th, I literally was there, all day, came back from Nebraska, and it was a very interesting situation, So I went that day, see how he was, like, and it just really bothered me. Like, I hated to see Josh that way, and it's crazy to like, you can watch TV and see the news and see it happen to everyone else, but like, when it's close to home, it hit differently. Like, when you see the scene and see the stuff, on the news, and it's just unfortunate. It's sad, man, but it's like, it did something to me to see him that way. And so I went back the following day, and Josh had to make a very tough decision. Okay, so he had a hollow tip bullet still lodged right into, I believe it's your glands.
Salivary gland right on top of my jaw.
Right, so right on top of his jaw. And speaking of his jaw, like, he has a fractured jaw, now as we speak, but it's like the bullet was lodged there, and the doctor was saying, look, obviously there's going to be complications if we perform the surgery, and there could be complications if we don't and just leave the bullet in. And so Josh was asking everyone, how many people you asked?
There's about 24 to 26 people in the hospital.
24 to 26 people. He was saying, what do you guys think? What should I do? At the end of the day, it's his decision, right? But like, he's like, what do you guys think I should do? And we all said, get the surgery, bro. Like, it's not natural. It's not normal to have a bullet just in you if it's not like a life or death situation for them to remove it. And at that time, it wasn't. But you also said something to me then that day that was powerful. And I want you to explain it to them. You mentioned about, at the time when the bullet was still in your face, you mentioned you are able to still have and utilize your facial functions, right? I can move my eyebrow, I can talk, I can do this. And so I want you to explain that situation to me and how you felt about it all.
So it was no through and through. It stayed and landed on my jaw. The surgeon came in. She broke it down to me, what's going on. And she gave me the risk of the surgeon, and she gave me the option not to have it. And if anybody knows, you go into a hospital or a doctor and they give you an option, you're going to sit and really think about it. Because usually if it's really bad, you don't have an option. They're like, we got to do the surgery now. So she gave me an option of what I wanted to do. And in my mind at the moment, I'm like, I'm talking barely because my jaw is broke, but I'm talking. I can feel my left side of my face. Everything is still working perfectly fine. And in my mind's like, why go under the knife and get the bullet removed if right now with this situation I'm in, with the bullet in me, everything is working perfectly fine. So then you ask me, say, he's like, man, like, I don't know. He's like, and I'm like, at that moment, I'm laying in the bed. I'm like, what you think? He's like, I'm gonna be honest. And I was like, give me your honest opinion. He was like, man, if it was up to me, I'd get it removed. And I was like, man, I don't know. Like, I'm sitting here talking to you right now. Like, take away, I'm supposed to be dead because it, like Ced said, there's a hollow point bullet. You know, hollow point bullets explode on impact. So again, that's all God. So take away, the bullet in my face. It's like I'm sitting here talking to you, where out of a million chances, I don't want to be talking to you. The whole side of my face supposed to be gone, my head supposed to be blown off. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm talking to you right now. I'm fine. I'm good. Like they gonna shoot me up with some meds, and I'm talking, so we good. And he's like, nah, think about it. So in that situation, I had all my family up there, and then all my brothers was there. And we was all in the room. And mind you, the surgeon came in. The first time she just spoke to me. I was the only one in the room. She spoke to me. She told me the risk. So she let me sit and think about it. Then slowly but surely, my family and my brothers start trickling in. Everybody trickling in. And then the surgeon came. She came back. And I was like, hey, can you tell me the same thing you just told me? Can you tell it to them? So she told it to them. And then more of my family start coming in. Now, at that point, everybody's there. And it's like, okay, everybody here. And I'm like, I asked the surgeon again, and she was super nice. And I'm like, can you explain the pros and the cons of everything that's about to happen to all of them? And she explained it in detail. And she walked out. And then I looked at everybody in the room. I was like, all right, look, I want everybody honest opinion. At this point, sometimes it's hard to be humble, and you live in a life where you make all the decisions and you don't let nobody tell you nothing. Yeah. In that moment, I had to humble myself because I can think how I want to think and feel how I want to feel, but I got loved ones here. Everybody here care about me. So in that moment, I asked every single individual, like, what do you think I should do? And I told everybody to give me the honest truth. And out of 24 to 26 people, it was 24 to 1. And I was the one.
Sheesh.
And I was the one, like, I don't want to go through with it. And she said, well, we're going to give you till tomorrow morning to think on it. And then I woke up that next morning, and I text my family, I text y'all. I was like, man, I'm going to go through with it.
He literally waited the last second, though. The doctor came, and she was frustrated. She was like, look, I ain't got all day. I need a time because I got to prep. I got to prepare. Mm-hmm. You need to prepare. You know what I'm saying? You won't be able to drink. You won't be able to eat after a certain time. I need to know. And this dude, Josh, going to be like, so how much time I got? So how much? I hear you, but how much more time I got to tell you, and which is a tough decision to make, and so like he made that decision, and he texted us. And so here's another crazy part. He texted us, we're going through with the surgery. I'm like, solid, right? So I was a little excited about that. And the surgery was supposed to be an hour and a half, okay? And so I'm in communication with his sisters, like, hey, what's the deal now? What's going on? And it was like, it's 2 hours, like, he's still in there. And I'm like, okay. Boom, I text at like 2:30. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Hey, what's the deal? Like, he's still in there. I'm like, all right, let me just wait, because I'm super nervous. I'm just kind of like, all right, let me just calm down. And then it was like approaching 4 hours, and I text like, yo, what's the deal? I haven't heard nothing. It was like, we haven't either. He's still in here. And then the sister sent a picture of the board saying that still in surgery, just kind of letting you know who's in and who's out. And it was still in surgery 4 hours later. What was the total hours of your surgery?
5 hours.
Oh my goodness.
She told us because she told everybody. She said the worst case, hour and a half. Because she told us the bullet wouldn't move.
Yeah.
Look how God worked. Because
Wow.
she was very confident that the bullet wouldn't move. But within that surgery, it moved.
And then the crazy part, because the bullet moved, it got to a point where she could not locate the bullet. And in her mind, a split thought came to her mind and says, well, I'm going to close him up, bring him back into the room, and when he wakes up, I'm going to tell him that the bullet is still in there. But I'm glad that thought didn't turn into action. So they got a second opinion. A gentleman who used to be a military surgeon, he comes in, and I can just kind of picture this. He probably got his sleeves rolled up, and he was like, all right, let's see what we got going on. Not only did this man find the bullet, but he says the bullet is a little bit bigger than what was displayed. 1, 2, it was a hollow point, right, bullet. It was supposed to explode on impact. And so this guy is saying lucky, but he's blessed. Okay? He's saying lucky, she's saying lucky, but he is blessed, because even if the bullet went up 2 inches, to the left 2 inches, to the right 2 inches, it could have been a different story.
Be here.
He would not be here.
Be here.
And that's why we have to honestly love one another, appreciate one another, because like I've always rocked with Josh. We'll hit each other always. We always together. But this situation really opened my eyes even more though. Like even more so, to where other people who don't know us to be like, y'all too close. What's going on? I'm like, I don't care what y'all think. This is my brother. I love him, because none of us is promised tomorrow, and we need that opportunity with the people that we love to share those moments with, and really cherish those moments, because it changed my way of thinking. But not only that, just knowing that God is bigger than all of our problems, all of our issues, our fears. And this showed me right here that God was bigger than the actual situation that he faced. He says, I don't want to get surgery because this could happen. But I'm like, look, God is bigger. He says, will the bullet move? They said no, and it did. Look, God is bigger, and so I'm just grateful, thankful that the procedure ended up going well, that they got a second, look at that. And so with that, all of that being said, like from being shot, from the experience of you calling the police and, having these thoughts that you were thinking, but then getting to the hospital, now, more information has been poured on you to where it's like, oh my goodness, now I have to make this decision, to now going through that process. Like, where are you at now? Like, what's your thought process, and just how do you feel about everything in the aftermath?
That's deep. Where I'm at mentally, I think it's crazy to say I'm in a better space. I'm in a better space because now I know, I know right from wrong. I know what I got to do. That's a message. It was a message strictly for me.
Mm-hmm.
So am I going to run and I'm going to make excuses, or am I going to take that head on and say, okay, I need to look at myself? In the healing process, you've been there at the house, healing process, you spending a lot of time alone.
Yep.
A lot of time alone. And sometimes my grandmother used to say this, he'll sit you down to talk to you when you too busy for him. You got so much stuff going on. You think you know what you're doing. He'll make a way where you got to sit down and you got to really listen to him and find your way. So where I'm at mentally, I think I'm in a good place. Not afraid to tell the story, because I think I'm blessed, and then somebody else can be going through something that needs to hear this. But yeah, I'm really in a good place mentally, because it's like I simplified everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's not moving fast no more. It's simplified, and I understand what I need to do and what I want to do.
Yep.
And it did something. It did something for my thought process, how I think, how I move. I didn't even move crazy then, but just every day I cherish it. And it's like, so I'm okay mentally. I'm not depressed, because why be depressed and I'm alive, blessed. So mentally, I'm in a good place. I'm in a good place mentally. And the healing process is the healing process. That takes time. Your body takes time to heal, and I understand that. And there's some good days, and there's some worse days.
Yeah.
And there's some worse days. Eating, gotta drink smoothies because the jaw broke, can't chew. So there's some bad days, but mentally, I'm okay. I'm okay mentally. Like, I really am.
Yeah, man. That's really good to hear. I asked that because, someone overcoming this, still have like the trauma, or they could see a movie and it's a gun scene and, and it does something for them, or, people could fall into depression, although things went well, but just knowing that it happened it could be crazy, so I'm thankful and just glad that you're in that better spot, but then also knowing what to do, even when it comes to spirituality, man. And that's you. At the end of the day, that's really what matters. At the end of the day, as far as what we do spiritually, because our blood and flesh is not going to continue on, in the kingdom of God. So it's like you mentioned, you was like, wait, preaching too. We was talking for a minute, and you was like, the soul, and that's true. Like, we need to prepare a place, the things in heaven, for the things in heaven. And so, for those of you watching, listening right now, if you believe, now is the time. If you have opportunity, right, to live another day, opportunity to be around your family, your friends, your loved ones, and provide for your family, now is the time to really seek the Lord now, because you're not promised tomorrow. You're not promised the next 30 minutes, and so that's really powerful. And then just real quick, do you have anything that you want to share to those listening, watching, just words of encouragement based off of your experience, not only in this situation, but in life, that you might want to share to others that can help them?
The mind is the strongest thing on your body. Is what you believe and what you think. You got to put them positive thoughts in. You got to think the positive thoughts. It really is. And I know a lot of people go the other way with, they were giving me meds in the hospital and things like that. But I got home and I said, I'm not taking these no more, because I understand what they do, right? And pain or no pain, but I was definitely in pain. But in my mind, it's like, I'm going to get addicted to this because they giving me the strongest stuff you can get. Mm-hmm. And so just understanding that, and like Ced said, man, we can preach and everybody needs to turn to God, but he has a way of showing you he's God, and he has a way of slowing you down. And sometimes the way he's slowing you down, you're not gonna like. Most of the time, you're not gonna like. And you go put yourself through some pain and misery. So why not just slow down and understand, especially if you know it. If you know the word, if you know to live right, if you know to do certain things right. Nobody's perfect, and he knows that, but he still wants us to live a certain way. And it took this situation and incident for me to really sit there by myself, lonely nights in the dark, in pain, can't sleep, to really grab a hold of my mind and thought process and to do certain things right. So the message is, everybody know right from wrong, and everybody messes up. But just where I'm at now, just do the right thing. Get into the word, really get into God. And most people will say, man, you got shot and then you want to start getting into God. Nah, that's not how that go. I already knew him. I grew up in the church.
Yep, facts.
This whole incident has not me running to God. This whole incident convicted me. It's a conviction. Knowing I know right from wrong. So it's not me running to God and he trying to say, nah, it convicted me because I knew it already. I knew it. And I was running from it, and I was hiding from it, and I was trying to act like I didn't know what it was, or try to put one foot in the world and one foot in church. So this whole incident didn't make me run towards him. It convicted me. And when you having conviction, like it's like you feel guilty about something.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at with it. And my life changed dramatically in one day, but my mindset has changed dramatically in just a few weeks.
Wow.
Just a few weeks. So that's my message. Like, regardless what other people say, regardless what you want to do and how you want to do it, just know we all gonna get that conviction. Like, we all gonna get judged one day. So just be ready.
Powerful. Be ready. Just be ready. That's powerful. So we're gonna leave that message for you all. Once again, my brother, I love you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate having me, baby.
Yes, all good. Definitely appreciate you, man. Listen, y'all gonna see a lot more of us though. You guys don't even know what's coming. That's the crazy part.
They don't.
Like, y'all gonna see so much more of us, of our stories, of our growth, of our experiences. You know what I'm saying? Because we got a lot. And it's on and it's popping. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Please do me a big favor. Go ahead and share this. Please like it. I know you guys text me personally and be like, hey, bro, that was fire. But like and then comment on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. I'll put the link and stuff below. But then subscribe, man. We just out here. We just trying to make some moves, man, and bust some moves. Y'all take care. That's what, man. We out, baby.
Out here, man.
Yes, sir.